Hello dear creatives, welcome to another tutorial with T-Bams. So today we are going to be making this fascinator made with Asooke. Yes, it's an Asooke fascinator headband. So the materials I'll be needing is my felt cap, my Asooke fabric, my glue gun, my soldering iron, and a doll face material or any satin material to cover up the fiber pieces. We'll be needing fiber as well. We'll be needing needle and thread, and of course a sewing machine, and also we'll be needing an Alice band. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is to cover up the cap using my Asooke. Yes, so I'm just going to apply my UHU glue to the top of the cap. Now this is a felt cap. You can make use of the flat ones, you can make use of these curvy ones that you see here. So it does depends on the shape or the design you want to get when you are making yours. So I'm applying the glue all around on the cap. Yes, make sure you spread it out well. Then the next thing is to place the Asooke fabric on the cap like that. Then give it a nice press. Yes, so that it will glue together like that. Please note, you might not be able to use candle glue for this process because at the end of the day candle glue can give you some whitish effect which will show on your Asooke, and it will be thick at the end of the day. But using your UHU glue is going to be just the perfect one for you. So the next thing I'm doing now is to apply glue inside the cap, like at the tip of the cap, just the way you see me do. Yes, just follow this process, and at the end of the day you will also get the same result. Then I'm going to be folding it inside east, northwest, east and south. Yes, I'm going to be doing it that way. I'm making sure the glue I applied is enough for me so that I won't start removing and applying again at the end of the day. Make sure you spread it out well for you to use. Then I'm going to be covering up using the 4 cardinal points. You can just watch me as I do it. 1, then you press it down. 2, and so I did it clockwise and anti-clockwise. Then 3 and 4. So the next thing is for you to input it, the rest into it, just like the way we do our normal molding of a cap. Yeah, that's the way I did this also. So just close it up inside, then at the end of the day we left with a smooth wrapped Asooke. Okay, so now I've finished wrapping it. Yeah, you might have little or no pleat, just like the way you see, but it shouldn't be so pleating. And the next thing is to cut off the excess which is inside the cap, which is inside the cap. I'm going to be using my scissors to cut off the excess, but I'm going to be leaving some allowances. So just cut it off the way you see it, this way. And the next thing is to cover the edges using my Peter Charm ribbon. Yes, Peter Charm ribbon is also part of the materials we'll be needing for the tutorial. But if you can't reach a Peter Charm ribbon, you can use a bias tape. So now I've covered it with the Peter Charm ribbon, just like that. I've covered the edge of the Asooke using my Peter Charm ribbon. Then the next thing which I'm going to do now is to form my puffy loop. Now I'm going to be measuring this. This is 30 inches long. Yes, This is 30 inches long, and I've made that already. So I'm going to show us how I made that also. Yes, I'm going to show us how I made that also to give me this. So what I did was to cut out 4 inches on fold of my satin fabric. Then I run a straight stitch. Then I stuff in my crinoline. I stuffed in my fiber inside the satin fabric. Yes, I stuff it in. I make sure there is little or no space inside the satin fabric. Then when I was okay with what I got, I stopped. So I'm going to be showing us how I wrapped the satin fabric with my Asooke. Yes, I'm cutting out the excess Asooke which I have here using my soldering iron. If you don't want your Asooke to fray, you use your soldering iron. But if you use a scissors, your Asooke will always fray. But using a soldering iron, your Asooke won't fray at all. So now I have one away of my Asooke. Then I'm going to be rolling this way. You can either fold your Asooke into half, like the way you see me do, or you just leave it opened. But I'm going to be leaving mine opened, so it depends on what you want. So I left mine opened. Then I will put the satin puffed slantly at the edge of the Asooke. Yes. Then I apply a little glue, after which I cover. So I'm going to be rolling this. Yeah, just watch me the way I do this. Then as you are rolling, make sure you drag it firm. Make sure you drag it firm as you roll. You apply glue, or just apply glue at the tip. Yeah, that might just be a best way for you. Just apply glue at the tip where the candle glue is now. Just apply glue, just the tip alone. Yes, or you apply it all around like that, but the tip alone will also work. So I'm going to be rolling it, pulling and rolling it, pulling and rolling it, just like that. Yes. So make sure you start in a slanted form at first. Don't forget, start in a slanted form at first. Okay, so I'm going to also be checking as I go. Maybe there is no opening, then I'm going to adjust, then glue back. Make sure you adjust and glue back, adjust and glue, adjust and glue. That is just what this is needed. Okay, so welcome back. I finished rolling up the satin fabric or the satin pop fabric, and I have 2 pieces. Yeah, you can make use of one alone if what is required is just one, but this I'm making use of 2. So I'm going to be joining them together using my needle and thread. While joining them together, make sure the threads are not so visible at each side, and make sure you use a matching thread for that. Then you slant your needle through. You see, I've pulled it, so I'm going to be releasing that. Yeah, make sure you don't pull too much. So you see, I'm going to, can you see where the needle enters? You will see where the needle will come out from. No. Can you see it's far from the first stitch? Yeah, you always slant your needle like that. So now watch again, and the way the needle will come out again. Watch where the needle will come out from. So now I have done that and I've stitched that to the end. Okay, so I'm going to be stitching it at the end right here. So see, it's bendable. I'm going to be stitching it. Then you tack. Once you follow this process, then we are going to get it and also get what I'm trying to make. So the next thing now is to get your cap, which you've covered with your Asooke fabric, and get the two, or should I call it the double puffed rolled Asooke. Then measure it with your cap, making sure it's the same size of the cap, yes, because it's going to be at the tip. So I'm just going to still pull again, measure it, push it in like that, then see, bring it up. I want the cap to show a bit up, so that is why I am checking if I am okay with the effects. So I'm going to be stitching right there using my needle and thread. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to cover up the stitched part using the Asooke fabric. So here I have the measurement of 8 inches. I folded it into 3, 1, 2, 3. Just watch. You can just watch the way I did it, so that the red and yellow effects can be outside. Then I'm going to roll it over, turn it over, then use my needle and thread to stitch. Yes, I love stitching a lot using my needle and thread. So as a mineliner or as an headwear maker, you should always be familiar with the needle and thread exercise. So I'm going to do that till I make sure it's secured. So the next thing I'm doing now is to fit in my cap into the already made loops. So this is the cap fitted in. Now you can leave yours removable or you glue it down, any way that works for you. So yeah, it is looking so you just glue up at the edges, or you just leave it to be removed. It will not even remove, even if you don't stitch it up. So I've glued mine because my client doesn't want anything that will disturb her. So next is me making my 4 bows. So I call it a quad bows. So the measurement I used was 15 inches for the longer one, 12 inches for the second one, 8 inches for the third one, then 6 inches for the last one. You can make use of any measurement of your choice. Then just follow the process of which I made the bow. Tack at the middle, then I'm going to be scattering it at the end of the day to give me that effect. But before then, I'm going to align it back and put my trimmings on the center part. I'm going to be applying my glue, to the back of the cap, the place where we just covered using a small fabric. Then, fun fact, behind cameras, I don't only use glue, I also use my needle and thread. Yes, needle and thread makes it secured. And another thing is, for this project, Alice band is not preferable at all. What you are going to do is to get this tiny elastic. It's a minor elastic, or used for fascinators. You use your needle and thread to stitch that also together. So can you see that this exercise is just all about using your needle and all about using your thread. So I'm not going to be putting it on the fascinator cap itself. No, I'm going to be putting it on the puffed Asooke part. So that's why I said it can be removable and it can be worn even as a band alone without the cap inside. So it's actually a two-in-one cap. So here it is. Here is my cap already. Yeah, I've tacked the both sides of the alice of the elastic band on it. Then I'm scattering the bows which I have made. So here is the back of the cap, and I can see it's also laid and it's giving me a ruffled effect. Then another thing is to notice my elastic is perpendicular to each other, or should I say it's opposite to each other. So here is the final look of the cap. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video with other creatives. Yes, thank you very much for watching to the end. If you are a new subscriber, thank you for subscribing. Then our old subscriber, thank you for always coming back to watch our videos which we upload on our channel. Yes, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and click on the notification button to always be the first to get notified when we have a new video.